you're known for your work with athletes early on. You're kind of a pioneer in the stuff I've kind of taken the banner up on. And exercise is wonderful. We're made to move. But the problem is people don't understand. If you're moving and fueling it with chronic amounts of glucose, you might be accelerating damage versus being healthy. And I think that except for maybe the extreme pointy edge of elite athletes where winning takes the balance, most people are doing this to be a better version of themselves. They want to be healthier. They want to be a better version. And the conventional wisdom, which has been since your time, I mean, I kind of credit you with the guy starting this whole modern fat adaptation. It's not modern. It's just all we do is get people back to their native physiology, as I say. Yeah. But currently there's this hyper calorie fueling regimen, and it carries into the diet. And like I said, I've seen so many athletes, and you probably witnessed it too, that would come on the scene and they'd be phenoms for 2 or 3 or 4 seasons, and then plagued with injuries, depression, energy swings, mood swings, etc.
Yeah, it's the whatever happened to syndrome, where you see somebody on the cover of a sports magazine, and then sometime later you think, gee, whatever happened to that guy? He burned out and disappeared. And it's sad, because when we do things right, we should perform better and better without injury and without sacrificing our health. And that's what people are doing. They're sacrificing their health, thinking they need to push harder and eat fake food. And that's how the pros do it. Well, no, it's not how the pros do it. It's how I have to do it because the commercial says so. It's how I have to do it because my sponsor says so, or this is what my coach wants me to do. And I want to just say something about your comment leading up to this. This is not a current problem. This is a trend. And this trend has been around before. It's come back and then it disappeared, and it's back again now. And it'll be back again in the future. As long as there's billions of dollars overhead that sells products for great profits, these trends will come and go. And what we talked about early in this conversation is that we're all individuals and we need to figure it out. And the rules are simple. Avoid unnatural food, avoid junk food, and then figure out how you can fit your training and how your diet can support that. And that's what the diet does. It supports the training. It allows us to train more effectively. We don't burn off calories because we eat too many. When we eat junk food, when we eat sugar, we burn more sugar calories and not enough fat calories. And what you've seen in the last 20 years is more than ever. And I've been watching this, this thing from the 70s, but more than ever, there are a lot of over-fat competitive athletes, and it has affected the professional ranks as well. And that's really sad. So it's not calories in, calories out. It's your metabolism that needs support, and your metabolism will make your muscles and your cardiovascular system work better. And the brain has a lot to do with it. And if we can't use our brain, we're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, and this is the point is like this. Right now, we're in this. The trend is reaching sort of that crescendo of high carbohydrate fueling, where people have gone from 60 grams an hour to 90, and now they're going 90 to 140. And there's actually some research and posits in the research community that the ceiling is 90 to 100 for an elite male athlete who's really trained up in terms of being able to harness those calories for performance, and that anything above that is just fluff. And I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, oh my God, this is craziness, because if from a metabolic standpoint, it means that they're putting such a massive glucose load in their bloodstream that the body is just frantically trying to push it to all the avenues it can to bring that blood sugar down to a stable level. So it means massive amounts of glycation. Of course, it's shunning in as much as it can to the mitochondria to into the Krebs cycle for sugar. But it's just like I said, the glycation that's going on, the oxidative stress, the lactate load, all this excess monkey motion that's not very efficient is going on, that's actually destructive.
Yeah, and there's a very important part to that. Well, there's a number of important parts, but one important part is that half of that sugar, depending on the person, depending on how insulin resistant they are, and a lot of that has to do with age. So a 40-year-old is going to be more insulin resistant than a 20-year-old. About half of that sugar they consume is converted to fat. And the question is, are they getting rid of it? Are they burning fat in their training? And of course, many of them are not. And that's how competitive athletes who are putting in a lot of miles gain fat. And an over-fat athlete is an unhealthy athlete. And again, the tenet, the real philosophy of my training from the beginning has been, do not sacrifice your health for more fitness, because you can have both. You can be a great 100%. Athlete and reach your human potential and do it year after year, decade after decade, in fact, without sacrificing your health. When you look at the numbers, when you look at all the runners, for example, to the marathon, you're seeing the amateur ranks get slower and slower as the decades pass. People don't realize that is happening. The records that are being broken are by the 1%, the 0.5% of the world-class relatively young athletes who are breaking records. They're the exception. Don't mimic what you think they might be doing, because you don't know. But the rest of us, the amateurs, over the decades, are getting slower worldwide. And